What would you do if the clock stopped, but the memories kept ticking? Imagine a world where time stands still, yet the echoes of the past grow louder with each passing moment. In a quiet, sun-drenched room, dust motes danced in the light, settling on the face of a clock that had long forgotten how to tick. It was here, in this stillness, that our story begins. In a small, forgotten corner of her childhood home, a young woman named Ilara stumbled upon a relic from her past. It was her father's final project, a grand, intricate clock left unfinished on his workbench the day he passed away. The mahogany case was smooth under her fingertips, but the hands were frozen, motionless. It was more than just wood and metal. It was a monument to a life cut short, a silence that had stretched on for years. She remembered him, a man whose hands were always busy, always creating. He was a master clockmaker, but to her, he was just Dad. His workshop, once filled with a symphony of gears and springs, had fallen quiet. Looking at the clock, she felt a profound sense of loss, but also a flicker of purpose. This wasn't just his unfinished work. It was a piece of him left behind, waiting. As Ilara began to carefully disassemble the clock, her curiosity turned to awe. She discovered something extraordinary. Each tiny gear, every minuscule screw and spring, was engraved with words. They were so small, she needed a magnifying glass to read them. On one gear, it said, "Patience is the artisan's greatest tool." On another, "Kindness wines the heart." They were his life lessons, his secret messages of love, etched into the very soul of the machine. It was a diary written in brass and steel. One inscription read, She realized this wasn't just a timepiece, it was a legacy. Her father had poured his entire philosophy, his love for her, into this single creation. The silence of the clock suddenly felt heavy with unspoken words, and she knew with a certainty that settled deep in her bones that she had to make it tick again. Night after night, Ilara dedicated herself to the task. The workshop, once a place of sorrow, transformed into a sanctuary of remembrance. With each piece she cleaned and reassembled, she could almost hear his voice, a gentle murmur guiding her hands. She recalled his favorite saying, a phrase he would repeat as he worked, "Every second has a heart, my dear. You just have to listen for it." Those words became her mantra. The work was painstaking. Her fingers grew sore, and her eyes tired from staring at the tiny engravings. There were moments of frustration, moments when she felt like giving up, when the complexity of the mechanism seemed insurmountable. But then she would read another one of his messages, like courage is the mainspring renewed. She wasn't just fixing a clock. She was piecing together the memories of her father, learning his lessons all over again. Then, one quiet morning, after countless nights of labor, it happened. As she fitted the final, delicate gear into place, a soft click echoed through the workshop. It was a sound she hadn't heard in years. Hesitantly, she nudged the pendulum. It swung, and then, tick. A soft, slow, steady beat. The hands of the clock, frozen for so long, began to move. 1 second. 2. Each tick was a whisper from the past, a validation of her effort. Tears streamed down her face, tears of joy, of relief, of a connection reforged across time. The clock was alive. It wasn't just measuring minutes and hours. It was measuring love, patience, and the enduring bond between a father and a daughter. The sound was a gentle rhythm, a steady heartbeat in the quiet room. Her father's heart. The ticking filled the house, transforming its silence into a gentle, comforting hum. It was no longer a place of empty spaces, but a home filled with a living presence. The sound was like a heartbeat returning after a long absence, steady and reassuring. It followed her from room to room, a constant reminder that love, like time, moves forward. The emptiness she had felt for so long began to recede, replaced by a warmth that spread through every corner of her life. The clock's rhythm was the rhythm of her father's wisdom, a gentle guide for her days. It was a sound of healing, a melody of memory. The house was no longer just a structure of wood and nails. It was a vessel holding a beautiful, rhythmic pulse, a testament to a love that had defied even silence itself. Ilara knew this gift was too precious to keep to herself. The lessons engraved on the gears weren't just for her, they were for everyone. So, with a heart full of purpose, she carefully transported the magnificent clock to the town square. She placed it upon a stone pedestal in the center, where its gentle ticking could reach all who passed by. People would stop and listen, drawn in by the soft, steady rhythm. They would lean in close, noticing the tiny engravings, reading the words of wisdom. The clockmaker's lessons on kindness, courage, and patience began to ripple through the community. The clock became the town's heart, its gentle beat a reminder that every moment is precious. And so, the story of the clockmaker and his daughter teaches us a beautiful lesson. It reminds us that while time itself may be measured in seconds and minutes, some things are timeless. Love is the only time that never truly stops. If you enjoyed this story and want to discover more tales that touch the heart while helping you learn, please subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.